it's Natalie from That Christmas Autism Girl. Welcome back to my channel. So no, it's been a couple weeks since I've posted, but I'm so excited about doing this video. It's a video I've been wanting to do for a while. It's about Star Wars. It's a review about different Star Wars things. So first we're going to be talking about Star Wars in general, ranking the movies. Then I'll be ranking my favorite shows. Then my favorite characters. Then I'll be talking about Star Wars Rebels specifically, then Tales of the Jedi, and then Rogue One, and then a couple others. I'll just be talking about the shows specifically. I'm going to do a general sweep over Star Wars, and I'll talk about each show specifically. So yeah. Anyway, so first of all, we're going to rank the movies. So then I'm going to start at the bottom, and then I'm going to work my way up. So at the bottom we have 7, 8, and 9, which I normally don't include on in my list, but I just decided to include it because you're probably going to wonder why she should talk about 7, 8, 9. So I'll just be like, I don't like them. So we'll move on now. Okay, they're terrible, in my opinion at least. So anyway, let's move on. So number 1, and so next for the next one for number 8, we have The Phantom Menace, episode 1. Now this movie is about is the first prequel, and it introduces Padme and Anakin and how he first meets Padme. There are 4 battles going on at the same time. The battle between Darth Maul, Padme's battle to try to capture the Viceroy. This is at the end of the movie. The Gungan Battle and what's the fourth battle? The space battle. So it's pretty cool, but because of Jar Jar Binks, which I don't really care for, he's like the most annoying character in Star Wars, which a lot of people agree with that. So, but because of that, I'm just decided, number 1, he has too big of a role, and I just don't really enjoy it all that much. So that's why that's at the bottom. So next we have 2, Attack of the Clones. Now a lot of people will disregard this one because of, you know, the whole, actually, I'm switching it. So Solo is next. Solo is before 2. So we'll come back to 2 in a minute. So Solo is the backstory of Han Solo. Now I really enjoyed this movie. I don't see why I didn't get good reviews or anything. Now the reason why it's toward the bottom is just because it's not really rewatchable in my opinion. Oh, for me to love a movie, it has to be rewatchable, or at least have a profound impact, such a profound impact on me that I don't have to watch it again. Like I did with Clouds. Like Clouds has such a profound impact on me. I haven't watched it since the first time. But that's just because it has a profound impact on me. I don't want to lose its impact. So that's why Solo didn't make it very far on the list. Very high, I mean. So next we have episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now Attack of the Clones, people disregard it because of the scenes between Padme and Anakin. Now, in my opinion, it's really Natalie Portman that is to blame because she doesn't really have chemistry with any guy she's opposite to, like Thor. She didn't have chemistry with Chris Hemsworth either, so I don't think it's really Hayden Christensen. So anyway, and Hayden Christensen did a good job of showing the Darth Vader side of things, like him turning to the dark side was pretty cool. But 2 had some really good scenes, like, for instance, the scene between the big fight with Dooku, the Geonosis arena, finding out about the clones on Kamino, the fight with Jango Fett that Obi-Wan has. There's just some, and then the opening scene, the chase scene at Coruscant when they're chasing with the speeder, they're chasing the ball thing with the worm. So it's like a really good, it's pretty good. So my mom actually convinced me that I can't just regard the whole movie because of the scenes that are really annoying, but they're actually not terrible because they kind of have to show them falling in love because it's just part of Anakin's downfall. And in my opinion, it's not having attachments that cause Anakin to fall. It's fear of loss, and I'll get into that later. And I'll get into that later in this video. So next we have episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this one is very interesting. I think it's the best of the prequels because it made it this high on the list. It made it number 5. It's in the top 5, so that's good. But anyway, it's a really good movie, even outside. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like as good as some of the others that are higher on the list. It was actually pretty good, it may even be okay even though it's not even if it wasn't a Star Wars movie. That's another criteria I have for ranking Star Wars. Would it be good if it wasn't a Star Wars movie? And most of these, no. But some of them would. And I'll get into that in a little bit, what makes it good outside of being a Star Wars movie. Actually, I'm going to go and talk about it now. So, a movie can be really good if it's a Star Wars movie. And so, there are a lot of movies, like 2 and 1, that are solo, probably wouldn't like if they weren't Star Wars movies. But there are some that are just so good, that even if I separated them from being Star Wars, I'd still love them. So, yeah. I can't explain why that is, but that's just the way it is. So, yeah, Revenge of the Sith shows Anakin's fall to the dark side. It's very sad with him turning into Vader. Padme dies. I don't like Padme very much, but whatever. And then Order 66, the clones don't have a choice, especially after you're seeing Clone Wars. You kind of feel sorry for the clones too. And then the Jedi also get betrayed, which is like horrible. So you can kind of understand why Kanan and Rebels didn't trust the clones. So yeah. Next we have Episode 5. The Empire Strikes Back. Now this is interesting. A lot of people don't understand why this is below Episode 6. I'm going to explain why. So Episode 5 has the biggest plot twist one of the biggest plot twists in Star Wars. And maybe for one of the first plot twists. I don't really know because I wasn't alive back then when it came out. But I've heard it was a huge plot twist for a lot of people because it came out. And you were like, what? I am your father. And so he goes, no, that's not true. That's impossible. Very exciting. Has that really cool duel. But in the battle on Hoth is awesome. But I kind of found the Cloud City scenes to be boring. And them repairing the ship for half the movie. It's just kind of like, why did the ship fall apart in the first place? They don't really explain that very well. It's just... yeah, there were just parts of that movie I didn't really care for, so that's why, but it's still really good all at the same time. So yeah, that's why it made it below 6. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, this is interesting because I rated this movie higher than 5. Well, there are scenes I don't really care for, like the first, when Leia is being abused by Jabba, it just isn't very pleasant. But and he licks her and stuff, but I really love the scenes at the Sarlacc pit. Ewoks, I mean, I know people don't like the Ewoks, but they wouldn't have won the war without them, so it kind of worked out. Rex is there, well retconned, and then you have Wedge Antilles once again survives another Death Star battle, and then Lando leads it, Hera fights in it according to Rebels, and then Luke saved his father, which is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites. So he ends up redeeming Darth Vader. He has the most iconic redeem yourself right before your death. So I call it having a Darth Vader moment because that's the first I can think of someone redeeming themselves before their death. And it was probably the most iconic. So yeah. Anyway, Episode 4, A New Hope. So this made it to number 2. So this is a really good one. It introduces Star Wars. It introduces the Force. So you're like when Obi-Wan does the Jedi mind trick, and the first time someone says, the Force surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together, or something like that. The Force is an energy field created by all living things. Or I forget the order he says it in, but it's really the first time we hear that line. And it's in the battle with the Death Star is awesome. Luke saving Leia is awesome. The bravery of Leia, I love Leia. So... and here we come to number 1. You knew it was what it was, I'm sure, after I made it through all the others. Rogue One. Absolutely love this movie. I know some people don't like it, but it's all because for some reason some people say it doesn't have enough character development or whatever. But it has heroism, sacrifice. I mean, they give their lives to save the galaxy. I love the characters, especially Bodhi, Cassian. The droid is my favorite in Star Wars. And then, of course, I absolutely love Jen and I love the movie. It's such a good movie. If it wasn't Star Wars, it'd still be amazing. So the visual effects, it's beautiful. The visual effects are amazing. So, and just the story between Jin and Cassian, even though they don't actually fall in love, it's just a really sweet friendship between them. So yeah, that's that story. Sorry, my phone rang. I thought I silenced it. Anyway, so next we have Ahsoka. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, next we have ranking the shows. So first we have number 5 is The Mandalorian, the most iconic and popular show, but it didn't make it very far on this list because it's thriller. Too thriller for me. I find it too intense because I don't like thrillers. Anyway, number 4 we have Freemaker Adventures. This is a Lego show, not technically canon, but I still really enjoyed it. It was funny. I loved Rowan, the main character in it. He's really cute, and I love the arrowhead and what it can do. And the Kyber saber's pretty cool. And it's just a fun little show. They introduce all these iconic stories. It's between episodes 5 and 6. It's really fun. So episode number 3, we have the Clone Wars. Now the Clone Wars is probably people love it more than the other 2 on the list. But I love the clones in there, and the Jedi are cool. And I love Ahsoka, but some of the arcs just were bad, and some of the arcs were really good, but I just didn't feel like it lived up to what it could have been, even though it's amazing, except for like Siege of Mandalore was amazing. The best arc, in my opinion, at least. Number 2, we have Tales of the Jedi. Now, Tales of the Jedi is about these 6 episodes. 3 of them are about Ahsoka as a baby, as a teenager, and then after Order 66. And then the other 3 about Count Dooku and his fall to the dark side. So they're really good. They're all written and directed and produced by Dave Filoni, so of course they were amazing. It's like, in my opinion, he's the greatest person in charge of Star Wars because he gets it and he's really good at it and he writes really well, and he made Rebels and Clone Wars and Tales of the Jedi. He didn't do the Bad Batch. Well, he produced it, but I didn't actually really write it. That probably explains why it's not as good as some of the other stuff. So, number 1, Star Wars Rebels. If you watched my channel, y'all knew this would be number 1. So, Rebels is about this crew of the Ghosts. It's a ship, and they fight. There's Hera, the Twi'lek pilot, Kanan, the Jedi, Ezra, the main protagonist, Sabine, the Mandalorian, Chopper, the droid, and Zev, the muscle, or a Lasat. He's really big, and he likes to beat up stormtroopers that he calls bucketheads. Love it, love the stories. Pretty much every episode you thought was filler in there turned out to be important in the end. It's very interesting how that works out, isn't it? Now, it's amazing they could do that. None of it was really wasted. So, my top 12 characters. So, number 12, Sabine Wren. So, Sabine's the Mandalorian of Rebels, and she's a weapons expert and explosions. She loves great explosions. She's an artist. She's awesome. I'm not going to go any farther into that because I really think you should watch Rebels. So, 11, we have K2SO, the droid from Rogue One. Now, he's funny. He's played by Alan Tudyk, and he's really awesome. And he's technical. He does technical stuff, and he cracks me up. He's like the best droid in Star Wars, he's the only droid that made it on this list. Number 10, Rex. Rex is a clone from the Clone Wars. Well, he only appears in the Clone Wars. He's the captain of the 501st Division. So that he serves under Anakin and Ahsoka. He's really awesome. He's my favorite clone. So, number 9, Body. Now, Body's the pilot from Rogue One, and his death probably gets to me the most, even more than the droids and Jin and Cassian's did. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a close call for me between those 3, but his death really gets to me because he defects from the Empire, and he immediately goes and serves the rebellion and goes to find the Death Star plans, and he reaches I love when he talks to the rebels, and he goes, they have the Death Star plans, and so he tells them what they need to do, and then they throw a bomb, and he goes, this is for you, Galen, and then they throw a bomb in there, he looks at it, and he dies. It's so sad, But it's a beautiful moment because he makes a huge sacrifice and it feels like he fulfilled his duty. Is why I think they made him make that face. He was like okay with it. So number 8, Cassian Andor. I haven't actually seen the show yet, but I do love Cassian in Rogue One. He's really awesome, and he fights. He's sacrificial. He also develops a friendship with Jyn, so he's my second favorite Rogue One person. Number 6, Princess Leia Organa. Now, a lot of people don't like Leia. I don't, in any capacity, understand why some people don't like her. I mean, she's a strong woman. She leads the rebellion. Well, she's a member of the rebellion. In episode 4, she resists every torture to protect the rebel the rebel base. Why did I say cell? And she falls in love with Han, but she's also very strong enough herself, and she's just amazing. And she, even in 7, 8, and 8, even though I don't like those movies, I love her in those because she's leads the resistance. I mean, she's strong and powerful. So 5 is Luke. So Luke is an original trilogy character. I love him because I don't think they played him well in episode 8 because he would not have thrown his lightsaber off the cliff. The guy who was willing to die for his belief that his father could be good would not have thrown his lightsaber off the cliff and go like, with the Jedi, whatever with the Jedi. So, yeah. Anyway, I love Luke. So number 4, we have Hera. Now, Hera is a Twi'lek pilot from the Ghost and Rebels, and she's the heart of the crew. She falls in love with Kanan, has a son with him, which I think is weird, but whatever, because it doesn't really make sense. Not that I think it's wrong they had a child, but that everything was leading up to the I love you moment that she gave, and she went, why did I wait so long to tell him? And then they had a kid. It just doesn't make sense, but whatever. Anyway, number 3, we have Ezra. Ezra's the main character in Rebels. He grows so much. His development's amazing. I still liked him even in seasons 1 and 2, but even in season 3 and 4, he was even cooler. He grew as a Jedi. He grew as a person. He was tempted by the dark side and Maul, but absolutely resisted it. It told Maul being his apprentice would never happen and remained loyal to his friends / family, and he eventually makes a sacrifice and calls them his family. So, very nice. Number 2, Jyn Erso. I talked about her before. I love her. She's awesome. The actress who plays her does a fantastic job, and she develops a beautiful friendship with Cassian, and she's very cynical about the rebellion and the pain it's caused her. But once she realizes what her father did, she immediately goes to gives her life for the rebellion. And she declares, I am Jyn Erso, to what's the guy's name? Orson Krennic, and tells him, basically, Director Krennic, that she's not afraid anymore of who she is. She's not afraid of the cost it will cause her when she reveals who she is. So, 1, Ahsoka, fan favorite. I loved her when she walked on screen, but whatever. And she's amazing. She's cool. She's strong with the Force. She kicks butt. She stands toe-to-toe with Vader. She kicks those Inquisitors' butt. She's just incredible with it. And she can disarm a lightsaber with the Force. I think I don't think many people can do that. So, that is my top 10 favorites. Now I'm going to talk about why Rebels is more than a kid's show. A lot of people, Star Wars fans, refuse to watch it because it's supposedly a kid's show. I'm going to explain why you should watch it. So first, it expands the mythology. And so, by this I mean the world between worlds. It explains what the Force can really do. It expands the whole idea of connecting with nature. You only see it a little bit in the movies. Number 2, gets better each season, which is great because that means it's improving. Like, season 4 is the best, then 3, then 2, then 1. 2 is amazing, though, especially Darth Vader. Ahsoka, season 3 introduces Mon Thrawn, gets even better, and season 4 is like a whole nother ballpark. So, yeah. Finale is top notch. It's just incredible. Chills and sadness throughout the show, but also it's funny. Great character. Story is amazing. And Sabine's past is gut-wrenching. It's not afraid to show you if you would normally see in a kid's show. And my favorite characters are Ezra and Hera. favorite season 4, and now, just because I'm me, I have to talk about my favorite episodes. So my favorite episodes in the first season are Path of the Jedi. This is when it gets tested in the temple. Number 2, my favorite is Trials of the Darksaber, Shroud of Darkness, and Future of the Force, and Cell Strike. I have 4 favorites. I can't help it. Season 2 has so many episodes, and it's so good. So Cell Strike, they find that the Empire has developed a ship that can pull other ships out of hyperspace. Shroud of Darkness, Ahsoka, they're in the temple again, and Ahsoka discovers who Darth Vader is. Kanan becomes knighted. Ezra meets with Yoda and gets into Malachor. Awesome. Future of the Force, I mean, one of the best episodes in Rebels. Ahsoka fights the Inquisitors. That's her disarming thing of the lightsaber. She puts her lightsabers away, grabs it, disarms it. It's just top-notch awesome. One of the best scenes in Rebels, too. Twilight of the Apprentice is the season finale. It's awesome. It's really good. It shows one of the most emotional battles. It shows Ezra starts to get tempted, and it's so well written and well done. The choreography between the fights is beautiful. Kanan gets blinded. Very sad episode too. And it just ends with silence. Like, you don't even know how it ends. Like, the voice actors didn't know how it ends because it's just silent. They didn't talk, but you know what's happening because of the visuals. And it seems like Dave Filoni really likes to do silence. That's awesome. So for season 3, Twin Suns. When Ezra goes to try to find Obi-Wan, this incredible scene gives me chills. I'm not going to spoil it because I want you to watch it. And I'm not going to spoil any more episodes either. Trials of the Darksaber, top-notch. Sabine's past is revealed. Holocrons of Fate. Ezra and Maul meet again. And then 0 Hour, when Thrawn discovers the base. It's an incredible finale. Now 4, I like the ultimate series finale, which includes Fool's Hope and Family Reunion and Farewell. World Between the Worlds, incredible, gave me chills. And Dune and Jedi Knight, both gut-wrenching, so sad episodes, but they are incredible. So, and I feel like I already talked about Rogue One, so I'll see you guys later. I have to go.